Okay, assalamu alaikum. Welcome everybody. We are now at our 1 p.m. session, the 8 p.m. Jerusalem time. Our session now is about finding and outsourcing digital marketing. It is to discuss digital marketing and how to outsource it, everything related to digital marketing. Our guests today are Marwan Ahmed and Iman Hassouna. Marwan joins us from DC, Washington, DC, and Iman joins us from Hebron in Palestine. Before we start, we have a video to play, and then we'll get the show going.
Hi, my name is Dalia Awad, and I live in Gaza, Palestine. I study computer engineering. I joined Plus program in 2019. Now, when I applied for Plus, I was expecting to learn technology and become a web developer, but what I learned was much more. During the 4 months with Plus, we learned from the basics and fundamentals programming till I reached the point that I can build my own full-stack website, and that was a huge improvement for me. It was fascinating how we can learn in just 4 months that I didn't learn in the university. We learned that it doesn't matter how technically strong you are if you don't know how to deal or talk with people. For me, it was the most important part, learning about soft skills. For example, when we were taking lectures, we were practicing it with peers, and that gave us the chance to practice or to know how to deal with different personalities and different mindsets. Also, as I mentioned, every phase we were asked to do or to build projects, and it was with teams. So, of course, if we have any conflict or if we want to agree on the plan or how we were going to build a project, here comes the communication skills and the conflict solving skills that we were giving lectures about, and also we were practicing it in the real life. After graduating from Plus, I was recruited to work as a software trainer for the next cohort. It was my first working experience, and it was so special for me, and I learned so many things about many aspects in the job world. Now, after 5 months of hard working and practicing, now I have an offer from Google to work as an intern this summer. Plus is a big part of who I am today, and I can't be more grateful for such opportunity, because definitely I can say that Plus was a life-changing experience for me. Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody, and we will start our session about finding and outsourcing digital marketing. Our first speaker, Marwan Ahmed. I'll introduce him quick. Marwan, Mr. Ahmed is the president of Arabesque Media, a Virginia-based marketing and event planning company. He's also the organizer of Halal Expo and Summits. He has been since 2018. He is also the former president of the Arab American Business Council. Marwan has a degree in computer information systems and education in digital marketing and nonprofit management. He has been in the marketing and event organizing business since 1994. He served on a media training mission to Italy with the State Department, touring 4 cities to speak, educate, and train local ethnic media. Mr. Ahmed received a number of awards from various communities and government agencies, including CARE, ADC, and the Governor's Community Service Award. So without further ado, Mr. Ahmed.
Thank you, Sidqi, and welcome everybody again. This is where the technology comes together with marketing. I've been in marketing so long that I saw the transformation from print media to digital media. And this transformation actually was great for the industry, because we now are able to look at data and analysis of who's viewing the media and using it. In the past, it was just a guessing work. And now there's so many platforms, there's so much technology. And I was able to kind of have merge between my CIS background and marketing work for the past number of years. And through my business, I have used and still use a lot of outsourcing services. And just recently, I dropped one of the major outsourcing platforms that I've used for many years for one important reason: the quality of the service and the time zones differences and the lack of culture understanding, especially business culture understanding, all contributed for my decision. And I'm now looking forward actually to work with the Palestinian counterparts to build digital marketing services for the American companies, my clients, who I work with. And I'm very optimistic actually, from what I saw this event and prior to this event, speaking to people, including Iman, that the service in Palestine will supersede many of those popular outsourcing platforms out there. Not to say that they're all bad, but one particular one that I worked with turned out, unfortunately, to be less and less professional and more just get paid and get the work done without really authenticity and without real value in the work. I believe, from what I learned from Palestinian companies who provide digital marketing services and development, including coders, because I know there is a lot of developers in this event, and because especially web design can involve a lot of coding and customization. So it's not only about graphics and social media and SEO. There's a lot of technology and customization involved, and that's where the money is. So the US is a leader in the digital marketing, and the world is catching up very quickly because this technology that's being produced is accessible everywhere. And but we're always one step ahead of many places, especially in our Arab world today. So from what we learn and what we use, we would like to share the latest and greatest technology and also pass it on to the Palestinian digital marketing companies so we can collaborate together. And I realized that they're also on the cutting edge. From what I learned and speaking to others, I'm impressed, to be honest, of how much they know and how much they can do. They need a little bit of work in terms of supporting them, understanding the business culture, understanding the business mentality, but they're definitely open to it, and they're definitely willing to learn and willing to catch up and be integrated into the system. I will talk later on how we can solve an issue of the cultural gap between the US-based businesses and Palestinian-based businesses. So I'm hoping through this tech event, USPalTech, not only work on the hardcore and coding and technology in different areas, but in digital media is very important part of technology today. And we want to work as a liaison between the two sides. We understand both cultures, we understand the technologies, and we want to be the bridge between the US companies and the Palestinian companies who provide the service. And this comes to the answer of how we're going to do this. So we will work as project managers for these companies in the US while the work is done in Palestine. So they don't have to worry about the time zone, the difference. They don't have to worry about learning all the skills as a US company need to know. All they have to worry about is being on time, meeting deadlines, and developing the technology. And from the previous sessions we heard, there are a lot of good successful stories. Impressive stories from the first and second sessions, and even the third. We saw that Palestinians have the talent to deliver US companies. We just need to find the connecting mechanism between them. And we want to play this role through the USPalTech and the network we have created through this event. And we want to carry it forward so everybody, inshallah, can benefit. So through this bridging, we want to provide guidance and coaching and mentorship to to Palestinian companies, whether it's a one-man person talent or a startup, or even an established company that is used to work in other parts of the world, but not with US-based businesses. We want to work and help them and help ourselves. We're all going to benefit. I'm not speaking as the person or an agency who is giving away anything. No. This is a win-win situation. We will win. The Palestinians will win. The US companies will win as well. And in return, we strengthen the Palestinian economy. As an agency owner, I come across new technologies on I want to say daily, but almost daily basis that we have to learn to provide our customers. And I can imagine the Palestinian side needs to do the same thing. And since we are on the cutting edge of this kind of technology, we're always happy to tell them, look, this is new, this is what's happening. Let's get you in the door. Let's help train you so you can provide this service to our clients. And lastly, I'd like to say that, the areas that we want to collaborate with Palestinian side on are web development and design. That includes customization and coding. Of course, social media, search engine optimization, call centers. I've worked with the call center in Palestine. I was pleased with them. We need to do more work, and we need to develop good strategies to show the American side that there is benefit of using call centers in Palestine, because they can speak good English, and there is no gap, and there are no issues there. Graphic design, of course, video production, and animation. These are just some of the areas that we in the digital marketing area, we can collaborate on with Palestinian side. I don't want to go too long. I want to just give you an oversight of what is it that outsourcing from a digital media perspective looks like, and how we from the US side can work together and support the Palestinian economy from this perspective. So thank you, Sidqi, and I'll turn it back to you.
Thank you, Marwan. And now to our next speaker, Iman Hassouna. Iman is a dynamic and energetic professional. She founded Tarjimli, a translation services and Pal Identity for Technology, which is a consulting and communication services firm. Iman has 15 years of experience as a project manager, media and communications expert, marketing and public relations manager. She was one of the speakers at TEDx Al-Quds University here in the Al-Quds suburbs, where she has presented her motivational speech titled Defining Your Own Identity. Iman?
Hello, everyone. Today I'm gonna discuss some matters with you related to digital marketing and why you should outsource this to Palestine. I'm gonna share my presentation with you. So we're gonna discuss the matter of digital marketing as a start, starting with certain statistics dated 2021 that are really major today. Around the world today is 7.8 billion. The mobile phone users around the world is 5.2. Internet users are 4.66. And the active social media users around the world is 4.2 billion, which is almost 54%. Internet users, the average daily time spent using the internet by each internet user is almost 7 hours per day. When we discuss social media around the world as well, the total number of active social media users, as we said, is almost 4.20 billion, and the percentage of total social media users accessing via their mobile phones today is almost 99%. E-commerce activity overview, and that's the last statistics we're going to discuss with these slides. And after the COVID-19 and the year 2020, e-commerce has increased, and the percentage reached to 81.5%, where 90% or almost 90.5% visited an online retail site or store through different devices. And those who purchased a product online via their mobile phones were almost around 55%. Starting with what is digital marketing today, we all know that digital marketing is advertising delivered through digital channels, such as the search engines, the websites, social media, emails, mobile apps, etc. It is the method by which your company endorses the goods, services, and brands through using your online media channels. What are the major components that we usually focus on in digital marketing? It is branding, social media, content marketing, your SEO, video productions, the email marketing, web design, and mobile apps, which are all essential these days. And I guess after the COVID-19, the whole situation has gone to digital marketing today. The main question we're going to discuss is, should you outsource your digital marketing strategy? And our answer today is definitely yes, you should outsource. And a full disclosure we're going to give you today is that our company offers these services. Samples of outsourced services. We talk about Marwan has already discussed some of the services that you can outsource through the Palestinian companies or freelancers. We talk about blog management, designing ads, social media posts, SEO, website development, creating your Facebook ads, even the designs, the video productions, besides a lot of other technological services that can be done here. All these samples lead us to the first benefit on how outsourcing to Palestine will help American companies. The first point is that you can find a great team of vendors. A company who already works in Palestine has already done all the tests to know who are the best vendors in town. So you're going to get the best service through the best team and focus more on your business instead. Offering a broader range of services at a lower cost. Yeah, it's really
Sorry to interrupt you,
cost-effective.
Iman. Can you move your slides because we're still on the first one?
I already did. Can you see? Marwan?
Only see the first slide.
Could you presentation mode?
Yes, I already did.
Okay. Maybe you want to.
Let me check again.
Okay, now it moved. You
might want to cancel sharing and do it again.
I will stop sharing. And there we go. Marwan, can you see the slide?
Yes, you're on number 11.
So we're talking about cost effectiveness, are we?
Yes.
Okay, so after having your great team of vendors, we're discussing the cost effectiveness, where marketing where outsourcing through Palestinian companies can save. When we discuss about, the matter related to time or money. Qualified talents. You're talking about people with talents, designers, amazing designers, content creators, and engineers. We're talking about quality and expertise. I would have to say that talents in Palestine are highly educated and technically skilled, and they are really diversified, and they speak English, and they're really proficient because it's the second language in Palestine. Outsourcing also allows you to partner with people who are expertise in the areas where you either lack the knowledge or the workforce. And that makes a difference when it comes to delivering the best service, the best quality, and meeting the deadlines from those who have the experience in timelines or in the materials that are being handed to customers. Also, when you outsource your marketing, you're not just hiring a CMO. It's not only a CMO. You're also getting a content writer, a PR manager, a marketing automation expert, a messaging and positioning expert, besides a lot of other services all in one. Profits and more revenues. Having a company and being a business owner makes me always approve the fact that what we care about a lot or the most is revenues. I'm giving effort and I'm waiting to see some revenues. So yes, HR are going to be happy with this because there would be no hiring headache. You don't need to worry about headhunting or hiring people because working with an agency means getting top-notch quality service from an agency or a company that is already in the market, knows the request world. The flexibility is open, so you can start hours package and gradually increase your activities and budgets. And the last we're going to discuss today on outsourcing is that it is always easy to communicate and having people speak language around. In conclusion, having a Palestinian agency or freelancer who provides expandable execution and support can be a game changer or scale your business. We're always ready to help. I would add one point to why to outsource your services to Palestinian companies is credibility. And as Marwan said in his speech, credibility is a much, and to add more credibility to our work, Marwan's gonna be where you're not gonna feel differences. We're gonna be working on the services overseas on the same level, meeting the deadlines. After all what happened during the past year, we have to say that the way we work has changed forever, and none of us is working on the same rhythm he used to work with before 2020. So that's a quick review on digital marketing services, and hoping that we would be able to deliver the best services you can get through working with us. Thank you. Back to you, Sudi.
Thank you, Iman, for that presentation. As a reminder to everybody who is attending the session to please, post your questions in the stage tab, and then our speakers will happily answer those. So I actually had a question to you both about digital marketing and the importance of it. So, Marwan mentioned, customizations and the various technology tools, and Iman also shared a lot of statistics and services that we could use. How can Palestinians help in that market, the Palestinian talent help in that market, whether, from a technology perspective, right? So if I'm a developer or I am somebody who's technical, also, I guess the marketing teams, they can work on the channels. But as a technology person, technology company, how they can support the digital marketing efforts.
Would you like me to start? Okay. So for developers, I mentioned customization. Number of projects that come to us, it starts as straightforward app development or web development. But as we go deeper into projects, the customer starts asking or requesting very specific needs for their apps or their web applications. And at that moment is where we need to bring in a developer or a development team to work on. And that includes customization, JavaScripting, HTML, CSS, you name it. Because we work mainly on the design aspects and aesthetics and of course social media and other stuff. But when it comes to coding and development, we would definitely can use the development team or just one developer, depending on the scope of the project itself. And that's how we can bring in Palestinian talents.
Thank you. Iman, do you have anything to add?
Marwan, I would just like to add one point when it's really certain services that comes under digital marketing services. When it comes to social media or web development or SEO, everything can be done overseas because it all depends on technology, it all depends on coding, it all depends on certain matters that the consultants the developers can work on. So posting, designs, everything can be done abroad once we know what is are the main points for each client. So this makes a difference. Yeah.
Thank you for that. So we have a question. The question is, in digital marketing, how can we overcome the cultural differences between the talents in Palestine and the US audience?
Well, I'd like to point that in the United States will help with this part, because having a company like being based as part of the culture would really help in understanding the whole and would help in the market research for each client being based in the United States and the same areas where the client is. So yes, this is how we can overcome the differences. But I don't know if Marwan would like to add another point.
Sure. Yeah, good point. Good question and a good point, Iman. So there are two components to working around the cultural issue. just like I cannot go to Palestine today and start a digital marketing business, I might have the technology and the knowledge and the know-how, but I may not know how to deal with the local business culture. And that's foreign to me. Same thing with the Palestinian-based digital marketing companies or talents, that the US market business culture will be foreign to them. So to overcome that is, like Iman said, having a partner to work with, an agency. And we put that in one of the questions in the poll. Do you prefer, as a tech company, work with an agency, or you to work on an online platform where you communicate directly but virtually? The second part and second way to do it is by coaching the Palestinian side on how to work with the US company. If somebody wants to work directly and doesn't want a middle agency, we'll be happy to share with them, what's the etiquette of doing business in the US. This way they don't make mistakes and that be costly for their projects and their business. And we're, again, happy to do that if need be.
We have from Ayman. The question here is, what is the newest trend in digital marketing? I feel like the trend is turning to more influencers more than traditional marketing.
Okay, this is a big question. Well, he's right when it comes to social media. That has a lot to do with it. Influencers are playing a big part. There are influencer platforms today, and they make a lot of money from that, which is great. But behind the scenes, if I tell people the technology that we use and have access to learn the customer behavior when people visiting the apps or the websites, they will be blown out of their minds. The things we know, their action, their behavior, their movement, their mouse movement on the screen. It is almost scary, actually. I mean, even us who work in the field, what's accessible to us to understand the behavior of the consumer is worth every penny when we spend the money on those platforms. So the question, what are they? I need a much bigger forum than this to list them, but we'll be happy to discuss it one-on-one if somebody needs to learn based on their business what technology that will help them.
And each country has its own number insights that would always makes a difference in the ranking for a component. So yes, it needs more time and more study, a bigger study for the insights of each business and each place as well.
Thank you. Hard question. That's good. It's an open forum, and our speakers are here to help. I actually wanted to just maybe say a comment on Marwan's answer regarding the behavior of the user, and that's very important, and that's something that companies, specifically in the US, and I've worked with some of those companies, truly have maximized the use of those trends and the analytics to understand the user behavior and put it into use. We see Google as just this white blank page with just a search bar and their logo, but behind it is a big world, right? But they understand exactly their user, and they understand what their users think, how to make things simple, and I think that's a key, and that's where the whole analytics piece comes to play. So thank you for bringing that up. Again, a reminder to everybody, if there's any questions or any comments, to please post them in the chat on the stage area. Go ahead, Marwan.
There is a question by Hussam, if you want to check it out, while I address one other additional point, which is automation. The automation and the funnels or some people like to call it, the wheel, that's available to digital marketers, again, have taken the whole marketing to a different level. I mean, you may not need sales team anymore. You just have to create a flow chart with automation to take the customer journey from 1 step to 20 steps, whether they end up purchase from your website or drop from your website, and you still can follow up with them. This level of automation is very advanced. It is available even to small businesses. It used to be just for large businesses who can afford it. But let me give you another example of how we can have consumer insight or public insight. I'm on the board of a nonprofit organization, and we were looking to launch a study of a halal market in the US. And the research, with all the facets and people involved in it, is going to cost us anywhere between $85,000 to $100,000 to hire a company to do the work. And the scope of the research by a professional company will only cover, like, I don't know, a couple of thousand people. But we decided that that's not be the best route to go. The best route is to create an app and to offer the consumer, the public, the technology, to give feedback through the app, to use the app for particular purpose in the halal market, and while they're using it, they give feedback, and through that feedback, we're going to get data from tens, maybe hundreds of thousands of people, not just a couple of thousand people, which is going to cost us up to $100,000. With an app, we can do this with $10,000, $15,000, and we're going to have this data update on a regular basis. While we hire a company to do it and make phone calls, what's going to happen is we're going to have the data for that particular segment for that particular moment. But through an app and a continuous data source from directly the consumer, we can have much more data and analysis and resources than a $100,000 study. That's the power of the technology in the marketing today.
Thank you, Marwan. Hussam, I apologize, I missed your question earlier. So the question from Hussam is, do you have experience in marketing through micro-influencers, specifically in the Arab region?
Iman.
No. Actually, at the current time, no, we don't. We have started working in the social media and digital marketing. When we talk about micro, we're talking about those influencers who has almost around 1,000, from 3,000 to 1,000 likes. Our clients, based on our experience, are mainly focusing on Facebook more than other social media platforms. Some of our clients has more than 50 to 60,000 likes per pages. Mainly these are some of the numbers that we have that we can focus on in Palestine, mainly focusing on social media platforms, Facebook when it comes first, because it's social media marketing tool number one in Palestine. Since 83% of products and services are being sold through Facebook. So yes, when it comes to Facebook, no, when it comes to other social media platforms like Instagram, for example.
That's the difference between different markets, like Iman said. In Palestine, for example, she said Facebook is number one. If you come to the US, it is Instagram, TikTok, sometimes Twitter, depending on the business. And of course, YouTube is a huge channel of marketing, and the least used, by the way, by small and medium businesses.
It's amazing how the popularity changes and size of business you have or what you do. So maybe I have a follow-up question to what Ayman and Hussam asked regarding those influencers. So it is definitely a trend to see the influencers make, being more and more popular. Now, do they need that local knowledge? Can an influencer in Palestine, for example, market products or services for US-based companies, like marketing ketchup, for example, for the US market, let's say, right, from Palestine?
It's going to work the other way around. So if US company has ketchup that's want to market in Palestine, it has to be halal ketchup. Then yes, the answer is yes. And you'd be surprised when I say halal ketchup, because even though it doesn't have meat, but components in the product could have non-halal, whether alcohol or pork or lard, whatever it is, or contamination. So ketchup could be halal or not halal too, just to give you a heads up. So the answer, the influencer could be utilized in the Palestinian market if that US company is exporting to the Palestinian market. Can the influencer work in the US to influence? Yes, too. If the company is targeting certain segment, for example, Arab or Muslims in the US, they need somebody who speaks the language or understand the culture and can tell a joke that they can understand, because jokes are different based on culture too. So yes, but not to the general public, but will be for a segmented audience.
Please let me add a client who's products being exported to Europe. And that was one of the questions that was raised by the client himself. The answer after doing a market study was that you need to look for influencers in each of those countries where he's planning to be. That's a first, if you want to focus on influencers. And again, as Marwan said, if we're talking about Arab on those areas, our influencers may be part of this campaign because people would be looking for Palestinian products in those areas. So yes, they may have a lot of followers who live in, let's say, Europe or the United States in this case, who would be following them, but focusing on influencers and on their areas. There are a lot of Arab influencers in the United States who can be part of a lot of campaigns. So usually once we work on marketing, we have to focus on the market itself, the culture, and then see how we can influence through having influencers in Palestine or other areas.
Thank you for that. Okay. Are there any final questions that the audience would like to ask before we go to closing remarks? Okay. I mean, I think the field of digital marketing is huge, and it is very important, and it just got more important even with COVID, right? Moving from more traditional platforms and channels to more digital and more online based, and it's easier reach actually. Okay, so there's no more questions from the audience. We'd like to go now for closing remarks. Iman, let's start with you. If you have any closing remarks, please.
For this, and if anybody has any question over any of the services that is related to digital marketing, please let me know. You can visit our website, palidentity.ps, or even contact me or contact Marwan for any of the services you're looking for. And we're always happy to answer a lot of the questions that you have and to help.
Thank you. We were happy to have you with us. Marwan?
So, yes, to add to your last comment, Sidqi, the COVID has, or actually we exploited COVID for digital marketing in the last year. Believe me, unfortunately or fortunately, it worked to our advantage, digital marketers, because many businesses who are not online are moving online and they need us. And so business is good as usual. We did not drop like many other businesses who are brick and mortar, who have retail shops. Now retail shops have to have websites, social media, good ranking online. So they're coming to people like me and Iman for help. So there is an influx of needs for our service because of COVID. And the biggest testimony to that is this event. We could have never done this event a year ago because people were not familiar with virtual events. People were not willing to try virtual events. We would not have people from, like, I think we have like 12 or 13 countries participating in this event, not just Palestine and the US. So digital media has given us this platform that was not accessible or in our mind in the past through virtual events. And this kind of events is not going to go away. It's going to stay. This is my third event I do virtually. Actually, we're working on an event that's going to be monthly. We started last week. That's how popular it's becoming. We have to go through a lot of training to teach the businesses to use the platform and to teach the consumer to use the platform if it's a consumer-based virtual event. But it's worth the investment in time and energy because even when life comes back to normality, virtual events will not go away. They're here to stay. And I am the biggest believer on this kind of technology. And the last comment I'd like to say to the US companies who are considering outsourcing to Palestine, it's not a choice between hiring a US-based agency, marketing agency, or a Palestinian. It isn't. You can work through a US agency like us, who will hire a Palestinian agency to do the work, and we do the project management and oversee to make sure that things done the way they're asking for. It will actually lower the cost for the business who's hiring us, because instead of us hiring somebody in-house to do the work, we do it with the Palestinian side. It's cost effective, and which reflects on the cost for the business who's hiring us to do work. So don't think you have to choose between a US marketing agency or a Palestinian marketing agency. We are giving you the best of two worlds. Us and others. This is not limited to us. We're not the only ones who's doing this work, neither in the US nor in Palestine. We're just an example here. So if you have any questions, like Iman said, reach out to us. I'm with arabesquemediausa.com. And you can reach out to Layla, who's our partner, Americans for a Vibrant Palestinian Economy, or Sidqi, who's our partner as well, to provide you and help you with any digital marketing service you need.
Great. Thank you, Marwan, for speaking today in this session. Now we will end this session, and in the next 7-8 minutes, hopefully the attendees can visit the stage, and network with one another. We'd like them to have the opportunity to do that as well. So you can, on the left side of your screen, there is a networking tab where you can network with others. And there's also the expo where you can visit some of the exhibitors that are there and learn more. Always, like Marwan and Iman said, reach out. We'd like to hear from you. We're here to help you, and we want to make this an ongoing success. So thank you very much. And the next session will be about cybersecurity, and it will begin at 9 p.m. Jerusalem time, which is 2 p.m. Eastern. So see you then.